Good evening. Welcome to Solihull College and University Centre Woodland Campus Construction and Electrical Installation Talk. My name's Phil Mann and I'm personal tutor for construction and electrical installation. Thank you for taking time to come and join us this evening. Okay, we're going to start off with a video. So how today is going to work, we're going to go through a video, a couple of videos, one on construction, one on electrical installation, bit of information about each of the courses, your expectations of when you're with us, and also what we'll be looking at later is an opportunity for you to answer any questions in the chat zone. Okay, so here's the first video.
Carpentry, bricklaying, painting and decorating, plastering. There are many avenues available to you when considering construction at Solihull College and University Centre. In some of the finest specialist facilities in the Midlands, our outstanding tutors will teach you everything you need to know. Here you'll learn essential skills and knowledge that you can take forward to a successful career in construction. With close links to local and national construction companies, there's a variety of opportunities available for our students. Discover your future at Solihull College and University Centre.
Okay, so when you're with us at Solihull College on the construction programme, you'll start off in the first year, which is a Gateway to Construction course. The requirement for that is a Grade 2 GCSE Maths and English equivalent, and I'll talk a bit about the Maths and English a little bit later. So, depending on if you've got any prior qualifications, maybe you've achieved at school or elsewhere, training centres, all learners begin on the City and Guilds Basic Construction Level 1 Diploma. On that course, you'll be learning about plastering, bricklaying, carpentry and joinery, painting and decorating, and introduction to health and safety. So you'll be learning about all the trades and also a really important part of construction, which is health and safety. Okay, year 2 is when you get to choose a particular trade area. So the trade areas that we offer, as discussed, are plastering, bricklaying, carpentry and joinery, painting and decorating. Also, what we'll be doing is focusing on health and safety and welfare in construction, and also principles of building, construction, information and communication. All really important parts of the construction industry. Okay, so what will happen is the health and safety and the principles of building are core tests, and it's not learning just about the trade area that you've chosen. It's about learning about all aspects of construction, literally from the foundations up to the roof. In year 3, obviously there is more theory and the practical work is more challenging. And this is at the end of the level 2 diploma. That's when you're potentially ready for the world of work. Okay, so getting out there and actually working on site. So we offer the same trades, plastering, bricklaying, carpentry and joinery, painting and decorating. We're going to show you now a bit about electrical installation.
Studying electrical installation at Solihull College and University Centre is all about getting hands-on and learning a trade. The college has outstanding facilities created to replicate a real working environment. Learn from tutors with years of industry experience. They'll teach you the skills needed to get into the industry. Start your career in commercial installation, shop fitting, factory maintenance and many more. Discover your future at Solihull College and University Centre.
Okay, so electrical installation, just to make you aware, this isn't part of the Gateway to Construction, so this is separate. So for the entry criteria for level 1 is GCSE grade 3 in Maths and English, and for the level 2, GCSE grade 4 or above in Maths and English. Okay, during the electrical installation course, you'll be working towards practical tasks, as well as electrical installation, health and safety, including safe working practices, principles of electrical science, electrical installations technology, installation of wiring systems and enclosures, understand how to communicate with others within the building services engineering. Maths and science are really important across all subjects, but particularly in electrical installation and being able to deal with complex equations, which obviously the tutors will go through step by step. But that's why maths is so important in electrical installation. Okay, both for electrical and construction, there are apprenticeship opportunities across all construction trades. So obviously it's subject to the following criteria: finding a suitable employer, able to complete the MVQ, which stands for National Vocational Qualification criteria set by the awarding body, interview with a trade lecturer and also an assessor. So an assessor is the person who comes out on site and assesses the work that you're producing. And to get onto an apprenticeship, you do need a minimum of grade 2 in GCSE Maths and English, but obviously the higher the grade, the better would be more advantageous in order to get that opportunity in the first place. Practical classes. Each of our fully equipped workshops that you saw in the introductory video are designed and equipped specifically for the purposes of the course. All teaching and technician staff have industry and site experience, which is really important to help add value to the work that you're doing and gain from their knowledge and experience. An obvious focus on health and safety at all times. And each workshop comes with interactive computer facilities in order to support the learning, and also a bit of theory along the way while you're actually doing the practical subjects. So the theory classes use a wide range of teaching and learning methods, working towards revising for health and safety and welfare in construction, principles of building, so as I mentioned earlier, all aspects of construction, and also the end of unit tests to support you with the understanding of the practical assessments. So we do fun interactive ways. So we've had escape rooms where you have to solve various clues in order to escape the room, all obviously trade specific. Padlet, Quizlet, Kahoot, different quiz-based games. So there's a bit of a competitive and fun edge to the teaching, and making sure that you can understand and the tutors understand that you understand what's being said. Okay, obviously at the moment things are very up in the air with regards to the coronavirus and COVID-19. So there are plans in place to create a flexible blended approach to your learning. So to reduce risk, we plan to use Microsoft Teams to deliver remote classes if we have to, where you can learn in the safety and comfort of your own home. Obviously you can't do that with the construction trades, the practical side of things, because I don't think your parents would be too happy with you if you built a brick wall in the middle of the lounge. But it's important that we have that provision in place for the theory side of things, just to minimise any risk. Okay, so your programme of study. So alongside the practical and theory work that you'll be doing, there's also the GCSE Maths and English. Obviously, you'll be exempt if you don't already have a grade 4. Minimum of 30 hours relevant work experience, remote learning sessions, and personal progress development tutorials. And I'll talk a bit about those now. So as I mentioned, if you get your grade 4 or above in GCSE, you will not have to do it. If you join us in the first year and you still don't manage to get the grade 4, don't worry, there'll be the opportunity to retake it the following year. The Maths and English tutors focus on Maths and English students, so that really helps with regards to the tutors understanding about the trade and how it can be specific, do some of the activities specific to construction to help add value to what you're doing. Work experience. In order to get maximum benefit, work experience should be relevant to your vocational qualification, obviously. And the beauty of the work experience that we do, so if you do a construction part-time job, that could count during a specific week within the college, on days where you don't attend college, and at the weekends, and on a flexible basis to suit yourself, the employer, and ourselves. So you're not missing work, and you're actually getting a really good opportunity. And it's really important that you start looking for opportunities. If you've got friends and family in the industry, it's always a good place to start. And the picture that you'll see on the screen is a young lad that we had a couple of years ago, Nathaniel. This was taken at the skill show, where he helped erect the block work, and you can see him there using a jointing iron to joint the blocks with the mortar. So that's a sort of positive experience that we're looking for. So a couple of examples that we've got here. Got a couple of learners on the left at Persimmon, and they did a fantastic work experience, which led to some of the learners going on to apprenticeships, which I'll talk about a little later. So they did 2 weeks work experience, then went on to do an apprenticeship, and we've got some members, some former students now working for Persimmon Homes as bricklayer. So that's a real good success story, and I'll tell you about a student, Robert, a little bit later. On the right, it's really disappointing actually. The World Skills Show, which you may be aware of, usually around this time of year. And unfortunately, obviously, because of Corona virus, that's not going ahead this year, which is really disappointing, because we usually take 30-40 students who are involved in the build phase. So they build the exhibition stands, they build the competition stands, help the tradesmen do that. So we take a few students there who are there for the week leading up to the skill show, and hopefully next year, hopefully things, fingers crossed, will be back to some form of normality, and we can allow students to go next year. Okay, so as I mentioned, Robert, who was with us, bricklayer, his first year, and this is a similar model that you could possibly aspire to aim towards. He started on the level 1 basic construction, much the same as you will. On the year 2, went on to the level 1, and he did the work experience with Persimmon for 2 weeks. Had a fantastic experience. Year 3, he did his apprenticeship with Persimmon, and in year 4, he completed an apprenticeship and now is employed by Persimmon Homes. So a real good success story was Rob. So really proud of what he's achieved. Just a comment from Phil Paddock, who's the head of School for Construction and Electrical Installation. Rob started with us a very quiet young man, lacking confidence in his own ability. With support of the tutors and the valuable work experience and subsequent apprenticeship with Persimmon Homes, he grew more confident in not only his ability, but also with his overall body language and communication skills. I'm proud of what Rob has achieved, and is a great example of what you can do when you have a goal and put your mind to achieving it. Okay, so personal progress development tutorials, and this is, as personal tutor, this is where I come in. So it's really important that as personal tutor, I meet you on a regular basis just to check in how things are going. So I'm basically your first point of call if there's any issues. So we look at awareness of issues surrounding health, welfare, safeguarding, really important. Obviously, young people have a lot of issues going on in their lives, and if I can't help directly, we'll certainly look at pointing you in the right direction. Citizenship, how to be a model citizen in the world that we live in. Employability skills, really important. So we're looking at CVs, job search, apprenticeship search, things like that. Independent thinking, having the ability to learn for yourselves, have that ability to find out information, promoting spiritual, moral, social and cultural development along the way. And also personal development, behaviour and welfare. So that's where we'll be focusing on you on a one-to-one basis, doing reviews, setting targets, just making sure that you're on track. Okay, so whilst you're waiting, hopefully to join us next September 2021, please look for construction-related work experience. Friends and family, as mentioned, are a great place to start. Increase your knowledge on health and safety in construction and electrical installation. So things like PPE, which is personal protective equipment, safety signs, different type of safety signs. So you've got mandatory, you've got warning signs, you've got safe access, and you've got prohibition signs. So get to learn about those. That will really help. Fire safety, what makes a fire, fire extinguisher information, things about different forms of legislation in construction. Really important things to give yourself a little bit of a head start when you join us in September. Okay, so before I finish, have a great year. Wish you all the very best with your GCSE grades. Thank you for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it and hope to see you in September. Okay, so if there's any questions, please fire away. If you put any messages, I will hope to get those shortly, and I'll answer the ones I can. Thank you. Mohammed, thank you for your question. Yes, they are two separate courses. So the construction is the plastering, bricklaying, carpentry and joinery, and painting and decorating. So that's one side of things. Also, the electrical is separate. Okay, but so I hope that answers your question. So if you get a grade 4, do we get straight on to level 2? Okay, right then, Adam, good question. On electrical installation, yes, but not on the construction courses, I'm afraid. Okay, can you do this course in 2 years? Potentially. Yeah, so potentially what would happen is you do the multi-craft of all the trade areas, go on to the level 1, maybe onto an apprenticeship, which is in an ideal world, which is what people will be aiming for. But if you're not successful in getting an apprenticeship, then you go on to the level 2. Kieran, is there any full-time courses? This is a full-time course. How many hours a week? Okay, so what normally happens, George, is you would do 2 full days of construction and 1 day maths and English. So generally 3 days a week. Obviously, because of Corona, we're minimizing some of that. So some of the classes are done remotely online. Okay, so how would someone apply for the construction apprenticeship? Now, with regards to the construction apprenticeship, what would happen there is find an employer, and once an employer has been secured, then contact the college, then we can fix up a construction apprenticeship that way. Now, sometimes what we also get is construction companies approach us as a college, and what we'll do then is the students who are behaving well, attending well, good punctuality, then obviously they're the ones that are going to have the advantage when we recommend apprenticeships for them. Hope that answers that question. Right, and of course, would you be able to change if you don't? That's a really good question, actually. I hope that's not the case. But yeah, we have what's called a 6-week apprentice. Sorry, 6 weeks probation. So if you're not enjoying the course for whatever reason, have a conversation with myself or one of my colleagues. Then we can look at maybe moving you to another area. Obviously, the issue with that is other areas do get filled up as well. So just bear that in mind. So it's really important to try and make that right decision. Now, hopefully, obviously, it's very difficult to predict how things are going to go, but hopefully, if Corona settles down over the next year or so, we'd love to get you in and have a proper tour, like we normally would, meet the staff, have a go at some of the activities. But it's so uncertain what's happening at the moment. But yes, you can if it's not for you. Okay. So, right, Mohammed, you made a really good point there. So you say do the course first, then go on to an apprenticeship. Now, some people who have contacts within the industry may take a punt, take a bit of a risk on a student straight from school. Now, obviously, straight from school, they haven't necessarily got that underpinning knowledge. They haven't necessarily got that experience of working with that. So a lot of employers do like you to have a year under your belt in college, so you can get to learn the basic skills. But some people do have a bit of luck and manage to find an apprenticeship straight away. So there are various different ways that your path can take you. But as my role as personal tutor, what happens is you speak to me, then we sort of like do what's called a bespoke plan that's aimed for you, because what might be right for you, Mohammed, might be different for Adam, might be different to George, to Kieran, to Gabrielle, or whoever. Okay, so hope that answers your question. So there are different ways of plotting your future. Okay, so Adam, how long will the electrical course take? Now, generally what happens is you would come on to the level 1 or the level 2, depending on your GCSE grades. So if you don't get your GCSE grade 4s in maths and English, it will potentially be 3 years. If you do get your maths and English, it will be 2 years. So you do the level 2 and the level 3. Again, apprenticeships is another route you can take with the electrical. Okay, when is that's fine, Tiff. The deadline for application. Now, get the application in as soon as possible. There's no deadline as such. I mean, sometimes we take people into September after the course is started, but it is advisable to get the application in shortly. Then what will happen is you will have an interview, probably with myself, and where we'll be discussing what you're interested in. We'll be discussing what you think, what experience of construction you have, and whether we feel it's a good fit for you, and that sort of thing. So I'll just have a little chat. Now, that will be done remotely as well, where ideally we'd get you in and speak to you. But at the moment, because of Corona, we'll be doing it over the phone. Okay. Oh, how many places are available on each course? I would suggest get in early. We are flexible with regards to our timetabling. So what would happen, Barrow 7911, is we would tailor sort of like the group sizes as best as we can. So it's difficult to actually comment on the amount of places, because obviously we try and cater as best as we can for as many people as we can. Class sizes tend to hopefully be around about the mid-20 mark, sometimes a little lower, sometimes a little higher. but ideally an ideal group size would be around about 18 to 20. Okay. Right. Dun, 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 dun. I think I've covered. Do you know any companies looking for employees? Okay, really good question. There's some really good places to look at. There's gov.co.uk for, and also a really good place to look for is a simple Google of your local area of a trade that you're interested in, and get in early and get approaching them. They tend to respond well to you showing initiative linked to that. But as I say, when you join us, it's one of the things that we do take a lot of pride in, is helping you trying to find opportunities. On the Solihull College website, there are also opportunities there that you can look at for apprenticeships. Okay, I hope that's answered your question, Casey. Jaden 8, how many days a week would we have to attend the construction multi-skills course? So it would be for generally 2 days practical and theory, and 1 day maths and English if you have to do maths and English. Okay, so Casey, would it be all right to someone to apply for the course without an employer? Absolutely, yeah. So the employer, you only need the employer if you're doing an apprenticeship, because half of the apprenticeship is sort of like the theory side of things, and the other half is actually working out on site. So you need an employer for an apprenticeship, but you don't need an employer to do the course. Okay, hope that's answered that question. Okay, I think that's all the questions asked, answered. Oh, more in the queue. Right, I may have missed some. I do apologise. Yeah, beg your pardon. Okay, sorry, Katie. Right, how many spaces are there on the course? So as I say, we are flexible to the numbers, and obviously if there's the demand there, we'll try and cater as best as you can. But again, it is advisable to get in fairly early. Okay, so Mohammed, some really good questions, Mohammed, thank you. Would you advise a student to do the course first, then do the apprenticeship? Looking, as I say, if you find a company that will take you on, go for it. Absolutely, by all means, go for it. But as I say, if you're less likely to get an apprenticeship with someone you don't know if you haven't got a little bit of experience beforehand. Okay, so getting a course in the first place just helps, because it shows that you can complete a course, shows that you're committed to the trade, and it shows that potentially you've got the skills, the initial skills that they're looking for. But really good question. Okay, thank you, Tiff. Yes, this will be on the Solihull College page, so you will be able to view this again. Thank you. How many courses can you choose? Good question, Reese. Okay, so when you do the first year and do a little bit of everything with regards to the construction side, presuming that you're talking the construction side, Reese, you would do the multi-craft, the basic construction skills, which is where you do all 4 subjects. Then from there, you can choose one of those particular trade areas. So it's really important that you make that decision, what trade area that it is that you want to go on to. There can be flexibility in that second year if you don't maybe take to it as much as you can, but that hopefully will need to be done early on. Okay, but good question again. Okay, right then, Tiff, because of funding, if you're not at college, you could be looking at work experience. You could be looking at maybe part-time jobs. I appreciate at the moment things are quite tricky with regards to that. But while you're in, when you're not at college, use that information, use that time wisely to try and find something linked to what you want to go on to. At the end of the day, without being brutal, you're in competition with each other. There are limited jobs out there. There are a lot of jobs out there, but obviously they want the right people. So you're in competition with others on your course, going on to those opportunities, whether it be apprenticeships and jobs. So try and look at doing things that are going to improve your CV, whether it be work experience, part-time job, whatever. Okay, so thanks for that, Tiff. Adam, for electrical, do you do any paper exams or is it just practical work? Okay, so there is quite a lot of practical work. There's probably more practical work than theory at level 1. Then as it goes up the levels, the more theory comes into it. The exams are online generally, but there are also paper exams as well, but they're so like end of unit smaller exams. Okay, so there are elements of theory and practical. Do Solihull College do electrical installation apprenticeship? Yes, yes we do. So that's something that you could look into, Mohammed. Okay, very kind, Tiff. Thank you very much. Okay, right. I think that's it. Oh, did I answer that one? Does someone have to be in college to get an apprenticeship? No, not necessarily. Some people, Casey, you may find something and you could do an apprenticeship with ourselves, but you don't necessarily already have to be in college to get an apprenticeship. But that's a good question. Some really good questions today. Thank you very much. I'll hang fire for another couple of minutes. And if I don't hear anything, oh, one more from Adam. Oh, sorry, Adam. Well spotted. Okay, unfortunately, you can't do 2 courses at the same time because of timetabling and funding. Oh, okay. Thank you, Reese. Oh, would you have to do a course and an apprenticeship at the same time? Okay, so what would happen is with that case, how an apprenticeship works, you would be, generally how it works is you would be on site 4 days a week and 1 day arranged with your employer. You would come into college for 1 day a week to do the theory side of the course, and also if there's elements of the practical side that you don't elements of the practical side that you maybe not cover out on site. Okay, excellent questions again. Thank you. Oh, two more Q&A. Oh, jump in. Here we go. Okay, Mohammed, I would advise you, sorry, when would you advise to apply for the course? I would suggest, Mohammed, get in as soon as possible. Although I mentioned earlier, we have got a lot of places. To me, the earlier people apply, the more that they genuinely seem to have a genuine interest and a passion for construction or electrical, whichever course it is that you wish to do. So that obviously means quite a lot, rather than leaving it till the last minute. And I understand people change their mind, and I do understand young people might not really know what they want to do, but I would suggest the earlier the better. Okay, thank you very much. When will you know if I have a place on the course? Okay, so what would happen is, Katie, you would have an interview, either with myself or one of my colleagues. Then we'll ask a few questions. Then what would happen, providing everything went to plan with regards to the interview, you would get what's called a conditional offer. Now, the conditional offer is making sure you got the correct GCSE grades for the course, and also making sure that you've got a positive reference from your school. Okay, so if everything's all right there, then what we'll do, we'll obviously keeping with correspondence, inviting you in, equipment that you'll need. So you'll need steel toe cap boots, clothes that you don't mind getting a little bit mucky, that type of thing. So you will know, providing your reference is good and providing everything to order, then you should be okay for the course. Linked to that, actually, and I do apologise for leaving it till now to mention, we also have an excellent learning support team. So if any of you have got any learning difficulties, that we've got plenty of support that we can provide for you with that. So that's really useful to know also. Okay. Right, where are we? I've got a couple more here. Okay. When you, KC, excellent question. When you speak to an employer, how would they set up when students go into college on certain days? Okay, really great question, that. So what happens is it's a three-way process. So it's the student, it's the employer, and it's the college. So it basically, conversations will take place between the three areas in order to fix up what day you would come into college. Okay, but that's a really good question. Okay, so Adam, should I apply for level 1 or level 2 if I'm getting a 4 and above? Regarding electrical installation, I would always apply for the level 2 in electrical installation. Then if it doesn't work out, then you've got the level 1 to fall back on, but hopefully you'll get the grade 4 and above that you need to get onto the level 2. Okay, and what will happen is, if you don't get the level 2, you'll be given a conditional offer to get a GCSE grade 4 and in maths and English. And if you don't get those, then the level 1. If you don't get the 3s above a 3 in maths and English, then there's also the construction as a backup. But obviously, hopefully, you'll get the grades that you need. Okay, Mohammed, so only apply for Solihull, would that be a bad idea? So would I have to apply for different colleges as well? Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, right. It's always best to keep your options open, Mohammed. Please feel free to have a look at any other colleges if you like the look at what they have to offer. I would totally respect that decision. But But obviously we're confident what we deliver here at Solihull College, so we'd hope that you would you'd choose us. But really good question, difficult one to answer. Thank you. Right, Reese, if I have no experience in construction at all, will that affect the chance of me getting accepted? Absolutely not, Reese. It's really important that people choose. Some people have got experience and want to join us. Some people have got no experience whatsoever. Some have got a little bit. They might have friends, family, or parents that work in the industry and have done a bit. That's not going to affect the chance of you getting accepted at all. Okay, right, jump back over here. If someone got 4s and 5s in maths and English, what level would you recommend to aim for in construction? Okay, ultimately you want to be looking at going for the level 2 over the 3 years. Now, and what I mean by that, and you might think, oh, I've got a grade 4, that means I can do a level 2. Now, you could have a degree. It doesn't necessarily mean you could build a brick wall. Okay, obviously you've got the aptitude, the skill, the qualities to possibly do it, but whether you've actually got the physical skills to do it, that's why we do start at the level 1 and build the confidence and the skills up. So as I say, it is that development process. You have got 3 years of free education once you left school, so college, apprenticeship. So there's no real rush. And as I say, with the level 2, then you'll be qualified to go out on site. Okay. Hopefully, well, not hopefully at all. I'm actually thoroughly enjoying answering these questions. Is there anyone else? Let's just have a new one. Okay, is getting a level 2 engineering a 4? Okay, so it's maths and English that we're focusing on in terms of requirements. Now, obviously, if you have a level 2 in engineering, that's obviously something we understand that different students have different things. So potentially with a level 2 in engineering, if you manage to get a 3 and a 4 and you spoke to the member of staff in electrical installation and shows that you can work at a level 2 engineering, that conversation may go to your advantage. But hopefully, and of course, I'm not entirely sure, maybe my colleague Sean can help if there's engineering that you're interested in looking at as well. You can have a look at that whenever that is. I haven't got that information, I'm afraid, if engineering is an area that you want to go on to. Okay, right, as I said earlier, Mohammed, good question. I would suggest that you apply for level 2. And as I say, if it doesn't work out and you don't get the grades that you were hoping, then you've always got the level 1, for want of a better term, to fall back on. And as I say, if you don't get the grades for that, you've got the construction courses as well. Okay. Thanks for that, Sean. So hopefully, Adam, Sean's put in the chat where you can find information about the engineering if that's something else that you want to look at. Okay, is there any more questions that anyone would like to ask? Okay, I'm just going to put my email address in the Q&A section, in the chat section, beg your pardon. So if you've got any queries on the back of today that you may not remember to ask now, thank you very much. Okay. Okay, so as I say, try and get your applications in as soon as possible. Hope to see you for an interview. Hope to see you September. Thank you ever so much. All the best. Thank you. Bye-bye.